Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick and today I want to show you guys how to make a Crested Gecko sauna and talk to you about why people make saunas, why maybe you should make a sauna, what's the benefits to it, what's not, when I've used them and things like that. So first thing I want to do is show you guys the basic items that you'll need to make your Crested Gecko sauna, so let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you'll need is a deli cup. It can be the same deli cup that your gecko was shipped in. You can go buy them from stores and stuff. So all you need is a deli cup and you need a lid, okay? Next up, you'll need a paper towel. Now this is like, I don't know why we have these paper towels, but it's essentially like two paper towels, but it's only one. It's really thick. So you might need one or two, and this honestly, this looks like it's just gonna be too much as well, but just kind of gives you guys an idea of what you can do. So there you go, you can do it like that. And now here's the most important part is you need water. Now this is what I use to mist all my tanks with. So it's at room temperature. So it's about 70 something degrees, I think, like 70 somewhere in there, 71, 72 maybe. And you just want to give it a good mist, and then you can kind of, poke it around like that. Kind of do that. And then the last thing you'll need is a gecko. For today's demonstration, we will be using Piglet, just because she's a big-ish, smallish gecko that still fits in this size deli cup, so it's good for uses. Alright guys, so while Piglet here is just chilling in her little sauna that I've made, and saunas are that simple. There's really not a whole lot that goes into them. You just need a deli cup. Alright, so that's all you really need. And you can kind of see here, and this is, oh, there goes Cooper. Why would you do a sauna? Typically you see it a lot with people who have geckos with stuck shed. You can do it in a bigger deli cup as well. Like for Piglet, I probably should have done maybe like a bigger deli cup or even a critter keeper, but critter keepers have a lot more ventilation and that kind of defeats the purpose of a sauna. So typically a sauna is just used to get humidity spikes, and you're only supposed to do this for about 15 minutes at a time. But I'm gonna take her out because she's a little stressed out right now. Just gonna open it up for her a bit. But the whole point of it too is to usually it's to help them shed and things like that. I don't do saunas. I will if I have a rescue, then I definitely do a sauna, because saunas are very good for rehydrating. You can see the condensation builds up. And when that happens, they drink the water droplets. It can help them out better than just spraying the tank, in certain situations, especially if it's a very weak, sick, rescue type Crested Gecko. The other application when you will see saunas being used are for shedding. If a Crested Gecko has stuck shed, a lot of people will do a sauna like this, and they'll get a wet Q-tip, and then they'll kind of try to rub off the stuck shed. I don't do that either. The reason I don't do saunas is because I get the humidity right in my tanks and things like that. And I'm not saying that there can't be a one-off where you might need a sauna, but if you're needing a sauna very often, then there's probably something wrong with your tank. I see a lot of people who just use paper towel as a substrate will have issues with shedding, because paper towels don't hold humidity very well, especially in large tanks with a lot of ventilation. They dry out very quickly. Whereas if you use coconut fiber and sphagnum moss and things like that, then you're probably going to be okay, and it'll be humid enough in there to where the gecko has the proper amount of humidity all the time. Has the correct big spike to slow drop back down to 50 or so %, big spike, things like that. That's what helps with shedding, is making sure the environment is correct, right? If you put these guys in a desert environment, they wouldn't shed, they dehydrate and die, right? So it's very simple from that aspect. One big thing though, and if you're someone who does a sauna because you like to rehydrate your gecko, or like I said, I don't do them, so I don't really know. I don't really know why you would do them. I know that there's cases where it's definitely needed, but on a large scale, if you just have one Crested Gecko who's shedding just fine, drinking its water just fine, things like that, then you really don't need to do a sauna. It's not a 100% necessary item to keeping Crested Geckos. So if you're gonna do a sauna, the biggest thing is water temperature. Do room temperature. Remember, these guys operate, you know, it can get as low as 65 and as high as 80, but you need to stay somewhere in that 70 to 72 to 73 range. I would not go higher than that. Do not do standing water. Do a paper towel like this. It'll build the humidity and that'll help out. Standing water is just not a good idea because it's not, you're not trying to get them to absorb water into their skin. You're trying to get the humidity around them raised. Remember, humidity and wetness are very different things. Those are not the same things, and they do not, while yes, if it rains, it's gonna be high humidity, you know, kind of deal. But after it rains, the humidity drops, but yet it's still sopping wet outside. You know, things like that. So humidity and wetness are not the same thing, so do not submerge your gecko in water. That's a terrible idea, just awful idea. Put a paper towel in there. I know some people do towels. You can do towels. You can get a bigger tub too. You know, if you have like a 6-quart tub with, you know, little ventilation in it, and you get that towel good and wet, or you get paper towels good and wet, that can be a sauna right there. So, better ways to do it. This is kind of the most common one that I see, at least. And I just don't like keep my geckos in these for too long. I mean, I say that, but yet I do reptile shows, so I don't know. I guess that doesn't make any sense either. But I just, you know, I just don't want to see them in this. I don't like seeing them stressed out and things like that. So that's just me personally, though. I know that some people have great success with this and their gecko drinks. Like I said, if I get a rescue, I will give it a sauna, and I will make sure that it gets hydrated, and that it, you know, because a lot of times too, a rescue might have multiple layers of stuck shed. You know, it's case by case. But I think for the average keeper, if you had a gecko for a year, you really shouldn't need to do a sauna very often, right? As long as your parameters in the tank are good, then you shouldn't have to continually do a sauna, because that's not ideal. All of my tanks they at least have spag moss and coconut fiber in them. Tubs don't necessarily need that because they already, you know, if you mist down a tub, it holds the humidity really, really, really good. So don't really need that. So for me, I use paper towels in tubs because it holds humidity. I use sphagnum moss cocoa fiber in tanks because tanks have a ton of ventilation on them. You can cut off the ventilation and play with that. I personally don't, because I just like going bioactive with the whole thing. So, you know, that's just kind of a summary on saunas. Yeah, no, I think that just the biggest takeaway is just make sure that your tank setups are good instead of just doing a sauna every week. You know, they should be drinking and eating and shedding normally. You shouldn't have to need a sauna to do this. Anytime you remove your gecko from their enclosure, it's going to stress them out, and it just depends on the gecko. Will depend on how stressed they are. You know, like Piglet here, she just chills with me. You know, she's fine. But you saw her when she was in this deli cup, she was freaking out, and that's why I took her out, because I don't really like that. And I don't want her to associate me with a freaking deli cup that stresses her out. But just, if you're gonna do a sauna, I would also, while you're doing a sauna, just troubleshoot why you have to do a sauna, because you shouldn't have to do saunas. But yeah, I hope this video helped you guys out. I know that to a lot of beginners, you know, you think saunas are needed and things like that. They're not, as long as your husbandry is proper in every other area. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And until next time guys, stay safe and stay positive. Stay positive.